told the kid I'd work it out.
If you're going to put that kid through college, you better spend your time making out profit returns.
Are you kidding? Lay off. Wednesday's always slow.
Yeah, it sure is for you. But you kind of hoped this year would be different, didn't you?
What are you talking about? Give me that puzzle.
You better puzzle out where you stand. Business-wise, profit-wise, and dollar-wise. In short, get wise to yourself. Didn't you hope that with a new oil, a new gas, and all that advertising, this would be your money-making year?
Well, ahead of last year, you can't expect miracles.
You sure can't. Not without working for them. It's not as easy as that thing says. Do you know the meaning behind those words?
What, this? Joe Bailey, the Sinclair man, left this last night. What about it?
Only this. Any farmer knows that between sowing and reaping, you've got to work the fields. You've got to get out and cultivate the crop.
You mean like this guy down in Georgia that they've written up here in the dealer news? A boy wonder, practically doubles his gallonage in 2 years' time? Oh, brother, this is really a Hollywood success story.
Oh, can it, will you? Who do you think you're kidding? Not me. And that means not yourself. Ah, take a rest. What's the matter, chum? Your conscience bothering you? Well, you're the boss. You can have it any way you want. But just remember, as you sow, so you'll reap. Let me have that folder.
It's a brag piece. I guess the salesmen use it in talking to new fellows. They break their arms, patting themselves on the back about all the help they give us.
Seems to me they have something worth bragging about. Looks like a real fine deal. 9 big selling features. Advertising, sales promotion campaigns, point-of-sale programs, plus everything else for building more business and more profits. You know of any other outfit that does more?
You don't have to sell Sinclair to me. I'm happy.
About everything but your books at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, then, for Pete's sake, if you think they're giving you all the help they can, then it goes right back to the same thing. Who's kidding who? Get wise to yourself. You're a businessman. If you want more business, go out after it, instead of monkeying around with puzzles.
It's not the work, it's the money. A lot of those things in the folder are on the 50-50 plan.
Okay, a buck's a buck. So supposing, like this fellow they write about, you do what every businessman does. Allow something in your budget for advertising and promotion. Say 1% of your gross. Now, if that's all it takes to double your business in 2 years, you know of a better way of spending your money?
That's a big if. I'm not doing badly now. Is it worth the risk for me to shell out that kind of dough when I have no guarantee?
The answer is no.
What?
N-O. No. Not unless you change your operation. And you can start right now without spending a nickel.
How? By putting up more signs and banners?
Sure, but putting them up right, where they can be seen, and keeping them in condition so they look good. And how about all these Power X and extra duty handout pieces? Instead of letting them gather dust on the shelves, use them. You've got nothing to lose by handing them out and everything to gain. They let you tie yourself right in with the national advertising at the island where you can both show them and tell them. Every car owner has good dollar and cents reasons for reading every word about how your products protect his car investment. Maybe most drivers do tend to think all gas and oil are pretty much alike, that one station is about the same as another. The only way you can make them prefer your station is by proving your pump island offers the best buy in town. No other oil or gas can match the proved values of your top brands. Convince your customers of that fact, and do you think they're going to be willing to settle for less elsewhere? Certainly not. As long as you're known for giving the best service in town. All it costs you to get that clean restroom sign is the effort of keeping your facility spick and span. You know, it not only draws traffic, it gets people out of their cars and into your station, giving them a chance to see what else you sell. Get them out of their cars, and they're no longer just shoppers. They become buyers. Practically the only buyers of your entire TBA line. If you're on your toes, you can take advantage of their impulse to buy. Especially if you use the auto tour service for all it's worth. Just filling the rack with maps isn't enough. Let customers know you're ready to help them plan their trips. By selling them on using this free service, you have an opportunity to get their car ready for the road. And that takes in everything from a simple lube job to most of the TBA line. And when they get back from running up all this mileage, you have another natural opening for selling them everything they need. All this business is yours for the getting, but you've got to want it enough to go after it. What that boils down to is going out after new customers in this neighborhood. You used to do it, didn't you? When you opened up and were out after all the gallonage you could get? Sure. Well, if it worked once, it'll work 3 times better today. You mean because of the figures that Joe Bailey mentioned about people being on the move? When the 5 biggest long-distance movers say they're transporting 3 times as many families across the country as before Pearl Harbor, it's time you realize there are a lot of newcomers moving in here. Talk to the real estate people. They'll tell you. Yeah, town's growing. No doubt about that. And Joe said that more than half of the people in the average neighborhood don't even know the location of their nearest station. It's your job to tell them. Of course, you have to plan the call, know what you're going to say. Nothing hard about that. All it means is making out a list of newcomers in town. Just call on them and introduce myself. Of course, I ought to have some kind of a door opener. Something I can give them. Something they can hold in their hands. In fall and spring, they're the Sinclair campaign. In winter, I used to hand out calendars, but right now, with no extra expense, even one of those giveaway booklets would do the trick. It'd give them a good reason for trading